So in the scenario that we have here in this case study for infection control, the first question says identify the clinical problem in the case study. So the first problem that I noticed when I read this was the fact that the husband didn't wash his hands correctly. All he did was rinse them. After he rinsed them, he went and touched another object, and then he touched the banana peel, which they're gonna all are food, so they're gonna be ingesting it. So that's a mode of transmission through his hands because he contaminated it, and so now there's a portal of entry and it's going to be his mouth. So that's an issue because there wasn't proper hand hygiene before touching the food, because after he touched the soiled objects, he just rinsed, touched the food, and didn't wash his and contaminated it. So the clinical problem in the case study to begin with is the fact that he didn't wash his hands after he touched the soiled tissues. Number two, how would the nurse best approach the husband and wife to address her concerns related to infection control? So the best approach, I think, would be that she should talk to the husband and wife and say, hey, I have some concerns and some suggestions for you related to, infection control, which means, the means of spreading disease, especially in your household. So the fact that, so the one thing that she could do is say, hey, I noticed that with the call him out from touching and rinsing after he touched the soiled tissues is the fact that you do not do proper hand hygiene. And then I think that what you should do is instead of just rinsing, use soap, so that way you're cleaning your hands properly, doing it for 15 seconds under warm water, and telling the wife too, maybe after blowing your nose, do the same thing. Wash your hands right after, after you blow your nose, and leave it on the counter. Leave it in, throw it away immediately into the trash can. After you're done with that, wash your hands 15-20 seconds, warm water with soap. And also tell the husband if he touches it again, throw it away, wash his hands, and do the same thing 15 to 20 seconds with soap. So that's one thing that I should think that that's one way to address her concern, is saying why they should do it, how they should do it, as far as performing personal hand hygiene. So the third question is, the husband listens to the nurse and agrees to practice proper hand hygiene. However, he states he will do so in the kitchen because the bathroom is upstairs and he cannot climb the stairs too often in one day. What would be an appropriate response from the nurse? I would, an appropriate response from the nurse would say, okay, that's fine. If you need to go upstairs, make it only mandatory when you think it's necessary to go upstairs. Kind of just see by ear. And, maybe assess like, okay, if you aren't able to go upstairs as much, maybe his motion is, he can't move too much. He gets really tired when he goes upstairs. It's a safety precaution, possibly. Make sure they have soap in the kitchen. Make sure she tells them that they have soap in the kitchen and that the same factors of performing proper hand hygiene, do it in the kitchen the same way, and make sure he knows how to do it. And make sure that the wife also knows that they have hand soap there and that they should wash their hands there and the way they should wash their hands, and say that's okay, if you're not able to go upstairs, that's fine, but make sure, if you make sure before you touch anything, make sure you wash your hands in the sink and go upstairs when needed as far as washing your hands. So if she's using tissues and she came from upstairs, just use the upstairs bathroom and just wash your hands. And then if you're downstairs and she does the same thing, go immediately to the sink in the kitchen and wash your hands immediately, and possibly disinfect the sink if they're able to. Clean the sink in the kitchen, because many things will be going in the sink and you don't want to contaminate anything as far as the areas in the sink. So just make sure the nurse tells them that they are cleaning the sink, and that they are washing their hands in the sink before they touch anything. So that's an appropriate response that I would think the nurse could give. So that is it for my answers. Thank you so much.